We are on Orlah, Perek Aleph, Mishnah Gimel. This Mishnah actually has a lot of halachic ramifications for nowadays. It's actually quite relevant. The Mishnah discusses the case of what happens if I plant a tree and then I want to move the tree and plant it somewhere else. This is relevant because it happens all the time, literally all the time in Israel, because nowadays you buy trees from nurseries. And the nurseries are, they're basically, they plant trees and they grow the trees for the sake of planting them in somewhere else. And the real question becomes, if it's replanted in the second place, is when I planted in the new place considered an original planting, or is it considered a new planting? And the halachot can be somewhat clear, but also the question is, what exactly did the nursery do? How do I make sure that the nursery didn't plant it in a way that's not questionable? And that's why they have hashkachot, but it's really an interesting, a fascinating halachic question. Says the Mishnah, Ilan shene ekar ve'asela imo. So if a tree became uprooted, but ve'asela, the sela we're going to see is the dirt surrounding the tree. Okay, so let's look at the Bartanura for a second. Ilan shene ekar, she'akarta ruach, it was uprooted by the wind, o shtafo nahar, or a river, a river overflowed it, or lichol makom acher, and it pushed it to somewhere else. What's this sela? The sela is ha'afar shesaviv ha'sharashim karoi sela. The dirt around the roots is called sela. If you should not kashek sela, because it becomes very hard like a sela. So if the tree became uprooted and the sela is with it, shtafo anahar, the river dragged it away. It washed it away. Vasela imo, but its sela, its roots are surrounded by dirt. The Mishnah says very simply, im yachol l'chiot patur. If the tree can live from the dirt that's giving it sustenance, then it's patur, i.e., when it replants, as it replants in my field, or I find the tree, it's hefker, and I replant it in my field. Do I now have to start waiting 3 years? Do I start Orlah or not? If it can live on its own with the dirt that was surrounding it, patur. Imlav, chayav. And if not, then you're chayav. If it couldn't live on its own, then you're chayav. Then you have to start counting the 3 years from Orlah. Mishnah continues. Ne'ekar hasela mitzido. If the sela, if that ground, that dirt got ne'ekar uprooted from next to the tree. Oh, shezi azato hamacharesha. Zizato. If it was moved by the macharesha, by the plow. Oh, shezi azo ve'asao ke'afar. So it's a little unclear what it means, but it means the tree was surrounded by very loose dirt, and you shook the tree, and now the roots became exposed. Im yachol, similarly, im yachol lichiot, patur. If the tree can live on its own without the dirt, then it's patur. Bim la, but if not, then it's chayav. Then it's obligated, then you have to start counting again. My understanding about the trees here is, the problem is like this. Remember we talked in the last Mishnah about it, atzitz nakuv, or in a nakuv is a plant, is it got holes in it or not? Even if they grew, many times nowadays they grow the trees in pots. The problem is if they grow the trees in pots, and the pots are permeable, or the pots have holes in them, or the pots are left on dirt, then it's very possible that it's considered halachically like it's planted, like it's yonate, like it's drawing sustenance from the land themselves. The only real way to make sure that it's not chayav in Orlah is if they would grow it on a concrete slab. And very often there are some nurseries that are very careful about that. It has to come like everything else with hashkacha. Otherwise, you have to worry about the fact that maybe it was raised open dirt in a plant that has holes in it, because it would make sense to have holes, because then they want the excess water to drip through and what have you. And then when you move it and plant it somewhere else, like in my backyard, then you have to consider that maybe I have to count Orlah from scratch, which is what we do generally. We are more machmir, we're more careful. And you say you don't really know, but very often it's a safek. So in my house, we counted the 3 years, and this year we had the first year of Netta Rabbi oranges that we just enjoyed. We'll stop here. If you have any comments or questions, feel free to contact me at rspolter@gmail.com. We'll dedicate our learning to the memory of my father, Rav Simcha ben Yitzchak Kalman. Have a good day. I should move that down. Have a great day.